Hello and welcome to another Tip Tuesday. A big thank you to Sarah Bloom for inspiring this tip. I apologize in advance if this tip is a little bit longer than normal. I just want to be able to cover a lot of different things. This year has been a game changer in the fact that I've actually put all my vocabulary quiz completely online, and it's really made my marking so much easier. My grades automatically populate into my grade book, and it's very part of our routine that my students know exactly how to take a vocab quiz online, and I think it's a very important tool. What I've done is I've created a vocabulary quiz folder, and that way the students know exactly where to find their vocabulary quizzes each week. In addition, I always make sure it's very easily identified, so that way they know automatically how to find it, so that on the day of the vocab quiz, I just have to tell them, okay, you have a vocab quiz, and they know exactly where to go. Now, I know in the past we've talked about the idea that when you add a quiz or a test, you should post it as an assignment. If you know that you're going to automatically be doing it online, I would recommend adding as a test or quiz. So we're going to do one right now. We'll pretend that the quiz is next Monday. Vocabulary. You cannot copy the course, copy it right now. You have to press create. Then you can copy it to a course. So I'm going to copy, in theory, I'm going to copy into a course. Just right now, just copy into my B2. And it's very, very straightforward. I can go to questions. I can add true, false, multiple choice, ordering, short answers, fill in the blank, and matching. So for example, if I want to add a question, find the synonyms for whatever. Choose the best answer to the question. I like to make the directions in a different color. I think it's a little bit easier for the students. You can always copy and paste it after you've written it. What is the name of the General Studies Assistant Principal? Ignore my black capitals. Is her name Samara Wasserman? Sarah Bloom, since she inspired this, Elisa Chanalis, or Becky Trudler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the correct answer over here as Elisa Chanalis, and that way it automatically will mark it correctly if the students choose the correct answer. I can randomize choice. That means that the choices will be in different orders. I'm going to make this 1 point, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter the point value that you assign to these questions unless you actually care. Because, for example, my vocab quizzes are 35 questions, but it's out of 100 points. And the computer, thankfully, figures out the point values for me, so I don't have to worry about it. The only thing that I find annoying about it is that each question you're going to have to click, and you're going to have to choose a learning objective. I'm going to create a question. I can then add a true false. Middle school is amazing. And then here I'll write choose. Decide if this statement is correct. Okay. I can do true or false. And once the learning objectives. And I think you can pretty much figure out how to do it. Now, what's going to happen is if you notice, automatically my submissions are disabled. On the day of the vocab quiz, even though this is going to appear, this appears in there, if this appears on the calendar, if I go into calendar, you will notice that it has, for next Monday, it has that I'm giving a vocab quiz. Hopefully I won't get an email from a parent right now that I'm giving a vocab quiz next Monday. But it has that I'm giving it a vocab quiz. But if I view it as a student, I will not see the questions because my submissions are disabled. On the day of the test, I'm going to go into my settings and I'm going to enable submissions, which means that my students have access to the quiz. Another really important thing over here is attempt limit. Sometimes students will accidentally click into a quiz and then accidentally click out. In that case, then you want to give them a second time to do it, to go into the quiz. I would not automatically do 2 times. I would automatically do 1 time, and only if you need be to give them a second time. And this is a game changer, a few submissions. I actually click into this only after the vocab quiz is done because I don't necessarily want them to see the answers right away. But if I click yes with correct answers, what happens is that when the students check their grades, next to the grade is going to be a little icon which they can click onto, and they can actually then view their quiz with the questions, with the answers, and it's a great way for them to really check what they got wrong. So no longer am I just handing them back a Scantron. I'm actually giving them access to their vocab quiz, and they have that access for the whole entire year. So come their final, they can easily look at their vocab quiz. What does it look like to grade? So here I have 14. I have not marked my last period's quizzes yet. Also super easy. I am going to go into results, view by question. I know automatically that the last two are the only ones that I have to mark, so I'm going to view responses. And then I can quickly scroll through and give the students the points. You know, I go all the way to the bottom. I press save, changes, and then we'll just do it for the next question also, just so you can kind of view what it looks like. View responses. Good. Give them a 1 for this. Save changes. And the reason why I am such a fan of this is that because if I go into my grade book and if I go into my vocabulary category, I immediately see my student's vocab grade. I no longer have to sit there inputting the grades. It's automatic. This lets me know that I can actually view their quiz. I can view his quiz, and this is exactly how this is the student view as well. If they click into their grade, they see what they got right, and then they will see what they got wrong. If any of this podcast is confusing, because I know we covered a lot, feel free to reach out. I would love to help you. This is Ricky Kurtz. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Sorry. The one downside about this is I do find it's a little bit tedious. I did time myself. This was 35 questions I had to input. It definitely took a long time. However, I now know that I have this for next year. And the fact that I now no longer really have to mark the quizzes and input the grades, to me, it's worth it. This is Ricky Kurtz signing off.